everybody. It's Brooke with The Buttered Home, and welcome to Messy Kitchen Monday. We're back on schedule this week on Monday. Thankfully, everybody, for the most part, is well. Life is all about balance. I know we've talked about meal prep and meal planning before. That's something I try to do every week to not only save me money, but to eat healthier during the week too. Like most all of you, I work a 40 to 60 hour job a week, and I have to usually run errands on my lunch hour, so I try to fix my own healthy options here at home. So tonight we're going to be combining two things. We're going to do some cast iron cooking per request of some of our viewers, and we are also going to be showing two healthy alternatives to the dreaded carb, but the most wonderful, beautiful vegetable, potatoes. Potatoes are good any way you cook them. They're good in soups, they're good scalloped, they're good mashed, they're good twice baked. Potatoes are all things glorious, but it's just not realistic to eat them every day. So when you're trying to watch what you're doing as far as your diet, there are some alternatives to the starchy, carby potato, and it's cauliflower. And I know a lot of you are going, ugh, cauliflower, oh, I can't stand it, the texture, the taste, whatever. When you cook it, it takes on a whole new texture. So we're going to be cooking beef tonight and broccoli, and then I'm going to show you two ways to make mashed cauliflower, or cauliflower mashed, and the other way riced. Now both of these you can buy in the freezer section already mashed or already riced, and I have no problem with that. But now I'm a huge proponent of knowing what is in what I'm eating and what my family eats. So what I hope to do tonight is show you that you can buy a head of cauliflower and you know what's in it after you're done with it, and that really it's just as easy, if not easier, than buying it already riced or already mashed frozen. A lot of times when you buy frozen vegetables, they're full of hidden sodium or preservatives, things like that. But when you buy an organic head of cauliflower, you know that no pesticides were used on it. It was organically grown, and all you have to do is wash it really well and cut off the woody stalks, and then you manipulate it into whatever fashion you want. So tonight we're going to rice it here in a food processor, and we're going to mash some that I've already cooked in my Instant Pot. Now you just break it down, and the easiest way to break down a head of cauliflower, it's got this big root and leaf mass on the bottom. I just take it and I just hit it on the counter, and it'll pretty much fall apart, and then you can trim off all of that woody stem, and you can trim off those leaves, and then you're left with the pretty florets. Of course, after you've washed it. I like to wash mine after I break it down, just that way you can get in the grooves and make sure there's no dirt or any other debris in there. But for about $4, I'm going to be fixing a cheddar mashed potato and a cheddar rice. So first I want to start with the beef. Now what I've chosen to use tonight is just some sliced beef that you buy at the grocery store for stir fry. So what we've done is we have placed it in a plastic bag with some olive oil, some Worcestershire sauce, of course salt and pepper, a little balsamic vinegar, because adds a really sweet note to beef as well. I know I cooked chicken a couple of weeks ago with it, but it does really well with beef. And then this is some new seasoning that I've tried from my friend David Little. It's called Little Bull, and I got the everything season. So we just put all that in a bag with our beef and let it marinate for at least 2 hours. So what I'm going to get started for you. Ooh, love gas. Gas is pretty much instant heat. I'm not going to show you how to cook the broccoli, because I did it in the oven. I roasted it in the oven with a little salt, pepper, and olive oil. in the oven in another cast iron skillet. That's self-explanatory. It's 425 for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, just depending on how done you want it. So the reason why I didn't cook the beef tonight in the oven is because I'm using the beef for stir fry. And the beef for stir fry is sliced really thin, so it doesn't take long to cook. So I've got my pan heating up, and this is gonna go quick, so I did want to show you how quick and easy it is. Now, feel free to roast your beef in the oven with your broccoli if you'd like to. If you're using a thicker cut like a stew meat chunk. But if you'll see, these are just thin strips. So they're not going to take long to cook. So I'm just going to kind of get all the good stuff off of them and put them in my pan. And it doesn't have to be neat. This is the messy kitchen after all. Now we're going to have a lot of noise going on. I apologize. It's hard to cook without all this noise. But you'll see they're sliced about as thick as thick cut bacon. So it's not going to take them long to cook at all. And try to just get them in an even layer. Now the longer you marinate them, the more tender they'll be. So you always want to try to marinate your beef if you're using it in a marinade for at least 2 hours, because it just makes the texture of the beef really silky and really nice. And you'll see a lot of this is cooking up already pretty fast. And you can flip them. You can stir them around however you want to do. But it just really doesn't take long because the beef is tender and it's thin. And, you know, my folks really don't like beef well done, or as my dad says, blackened. So we don't cook it very long. We like to have a little bit of pink in there. My dad is always funny to go out and eat with. Anytime he gets any kind of red meat, or, well, really any meat at all, when they ask him how he wants it cooked, he says Cajun style. And that does not mean spicy. That means blackened or burnt. When he does eat meat, he doesn't eat a whole lot of meat anymore. He's gotten more health conscious as he's gotten older. And he may be here. Pop, if you're here, raise your hand. So you'll see it's cooking up nice. So your beef is not, I mean, this is not what takes so long. And this is a good quick supper too, which is what we're going to be having it for tonight. And then I've made a double batch so that I can have some to pack up for my lunches this week. Oh, I wish you could smell it. It smells really good. Now, you cook this to your desired doneness. Like I said, we like ours just a little bit pink, a little rare. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. And I'm going to move it out of the way. Now, anytime you're cooking with cast iron, it transfers heat so well, it is hot. So you want to be sure that you use a good silicone hot pad or something to get it out of your way. Alright, so now I'm going to start my riced cauliflower. And if you'll see in my pan, I have a couple of tablespoons of butter, some minced garlic, and Parmesan cheese. Now, one of the good things about using cauliflower for rice is that you're cutting out the carbs. So you can add in a little more fat for flavor. So it's really not that great big of a deal. So while this melts, I'm going to bring you over here to my food processor. And you'll see I have big chunks of florets. They're clean and they are trimmed. And I've got them in here ready to go. Y'all, this is my Ninja food processor. It's got a blender, a food processor, and it's got the small Nutri Ninja cups. I love this thing. This is the best thing that's ever been invented. So all you're going to do is you're going to just simply pulse. And now you don't want to do it too much because you want them to end up being about the size of a grain of rice. And I believe we are there. We still got some big stalks in there, but for the most part, you'll see they're about the size of rice. See how easy that was? Now I'm just going to pulse this just for a tiny bit longer, just because I do have some kind of big pieces in there. So now we'll carry this over to our pan, and you'll see our butter is just about melted, and the garlic, and you really don't want to saute your garlic because garlic will burn very easily. So for the most part, you just really want to have it melted. So now I'm just going to take this cauliflower that I riced and put it in with everything. And just kind of let it soak up that butter. And then we're cooking it on medium to high heat on a medium burner. Now see how quickly it soaked up all that butter and garlic? Cauliflower is a lot like potatoes in that sense, to where it can withstand a little more. So to this, we're just going to add just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, to your preference, of course. All right, you'll hear it starting to kind of sizzle. So you more or less just want to move it around. And you're going to cook it about 5 to 7 minutes on medium to high heat until it reaches the desired consistency that you want. You want to cook it to the same amount that you would cook your rice. If you like your rice gummy, you can cook this the same way to get it gummy, or you can cook it to where it's got just a little bit of bite to it. But it really just does not take it long. And doesn't it look just like rice? And did you see how easy that was? I mean, prep time maybe 5-10 minutes. And it smells really good. That little bit of Parmesan cheese and butter, salt and pepper, and that garlic. Oh, that garlic smells so good. All right. So I'm just going to spread this out and let it continue to cook for a little bit longer. And then I'm going to show you in the Instant Pot the cauliflower that I cooked earlier to mash. Now, I prepped it the same way and dropped it in with about a cup of water, and I set it to manual, or on the newer models, pressure cook for 4 minutes. When the 4-minute cooking time was over, I did a QR, or a quick release, which means I let the steam out of it all at one time. So it cooked up all nice, and it's just water, salt, and pepper. I'm going to strain it. And I'm going to put it back in my pot. I'm coming back. Now, I'm real proud of this. This is the Buttered Homes butter. We made this in a mason jar. If you're interested in seeing that, we may do a video on it, or we may do a live on it. But it's really, really good. It's made with heavy cream, salt, in a mason jar, and it takes about 10 minutes. And you have your own butter. So we're going to take just a little pat of this butter, and we're going to add it to the cauliflower. And then I'm gonna get my hand mixer and I'm gonna show you how easy this is. Mashed cauliflower. Let me get a plate. Plate everything for you. Meanwhile, Tanner can be watching the rice cauliflower. And boy, it smells so good. It smells so good. So now I have my, ooh, and it's hot. My beef that I did earlier, and some roasted broccoli. Look, y'all, does that not look just like mashed potatoes? And I promise you it tastes just as good too. Now just to show you the riced cauliflower here. And then we take our really pretty beef and our broccoli and we put it over the top. And y'all, that's a meal made in heaven right there. Cauliflower 2 ways with sliced beef and broccoli. And y'all, this will be good. You can freeze the cauliflower after you cook it. You can rice it and put it in bags in the freezer and it'll keep for up to a month. And then you can take it out and you can just cook it like this, or you can mash it, whatever your preference is. But y'all, what a pretty plate. That is beef and broccoli with cauliflower substituted for potatoes and rice. So cauliflower 2 ways, substituting for 2 different starches. So I hope that y'all have enjoyed the Messy Kitchen tonight. That's kind of a quick, healthy alternative. I love the comments. Everybody can let me know if you've made this. I'll try to go in a little while and give the exact recipe for the marinade that we used, as well as some procedural stuff for the cauliflower and for the roasted broccoli too, because I didn't really visit that tonight, because roasted vegetables are what they are, and they're very easy, and this just shows you that you can just about roast anything and it's good. And I hope you've enjoyed the Messy Kitchen tonight. We've got a little different segment on Wednesday coming up for you. Instead of a grocery store tip, it's just going to be kind of a kitchen tip, but in a store, in a home store. So I hope you'll tune in Wednesday about 5:30, where we go and we hide and we talk about something to help you in the kitchen. We've got a lot of exciting things planned, and the Buttered Home will be going on vacation in 2 weeks, but we're still going to try to have a Messy Kitchen for you next Monday night, which is Labor Day, and then the Monday night after, which will be on vacation. But never fear, we'll have something for you. So be sure to let us know you're here in the comments. Tell us where you're watching from, and we hope to see y'all soon. Bye.